परम पूजनीय स्वामी आत्मानंदा जी, Saraswati, members of the audience here. I've been told by the organizer to speak in English because people from other parts of India have come where they preferred to hear my speech in English. I've taken Swamiji's permission for that. And I would like to first of all compliment the Indian Cultural Academy Foundation for thinking of this topic, because this is at the root of our nation building. Know that India was for several centuries the richest country in the world. It was also a country which was in the frontiers of science. In Western world, they made all kinds of mistakes and they learned through their mistakes. But our sadhus and sannyasis who studied science, they never made a mistake. Galileo claimed at one stage that it is not the earth which goes around the sun, but it is the sun. He contradicted the old view that the earth does not go around the sun, it is the sun which goes around the earth. And he was nearly crucified, he was nearly hanged, he was put in jail and beaten, till he said, "I'm sorry, I agree with you. It's the sun which goes around the earth and not the earth which goes around the sun." Because when you see the sun, it looks as if it is going around the earth. But the sadhus and sannyasis of India, the Maharishis, from day one they said, sun is in the center of the universe and it is the earth which goes around the sun, and they never made a mistake at all during the entire period because of their sadhana. Science in all areas, rocket science. You read any book on the history of rocketry in the United States, they will start by saying that it was Indians who invented rocketry. In fact, when the British fought the Indians in Coromandel Coast, rockets were used. Those rockets were picked up and taken to London, and it was duplicated. And then they brought an advanced version of the rockets to India. Calculus, physics, mathematics, all you could see, the great inventions before the Industrial Revolution, was done by Hindus in this country. We were known all over the world as Hindus. Even today, China in its official publication calls us Hindu Go, which means Hindu Rashtra. I don't know how these left-wing secular people tolerate China calling us Hindu Rashtra. We became poor because of foreign invasions. We were not hostile to foreigners coming to our country, but before Islam, the foreigners who came to India settled in India, adopted our religion. The Greeks came, they also adopted our religion. You can see them in Chiplun in Maharashtra. Then the Romans came, they settled down too, in small numbers. The Thais came to Assam and adopted Hinduism and became the Assam dynasty. Many people think that Northeast look like Chinese. They are not Chinese, they are Thai. Because of our ignorance we call them Chinese. But there is no connection with China. So, this country was hospitable to all. The Parsis came after Islam conquered Persia. We received them. The Shankaracharya of Dwarka was called by the Jada Rana in Sanjan where they landed. And he said, what do I do with these people? So the Shankaracharya told them, you can stay, but we are already in overcrowded country. I don't know whether we can find a place for you. So the Parsi priest who knew Sanskrit, he told the Shankaracharya, in a jar full of milk, you put some sugar, it won't take up any space, but it will sweeten the milk the same way we shall sweeten India. This we give you a guarantee. And Shankaracharya then laid down 5 conditions. One was that they will not speak Persian but speak Gujarati. All Parsis speak Gujarati. That you will not wear Persian dress but you will wear the dress of Gujarat. And all Parsis dress like Gujaratis, even the way they put their sari is like Gujaratis. That you will drop all arms. They dropped all the arms. You will not eat cow. Even today, religious Parsis do not touch the cow. Today, there are only 60,000, 70,000 Parsis. They are in high positions. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Kapadia. Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, Sam Manekshaw. Air Vice Marshal of the Air Force, Fali Major. Attorney General of India, Soli Sorabji. Has any Hindu ever held any grievance for this? Not at all. Because we accepted them and they accepted us. When the British left India, they told the Parsis, like the Anglo-Indians, will make a special provisions for you in the parliament. And they said, no, thank you. The Hindus have looked after us for 1,000 years. We don't need you, you go. We are quite comfortable with the Hindus. Our problems began with these violent invasions. In the beginning, we fought them and defeated them. We defeated them when the Caliph Umar sent, after conquering most of Europe, he sent the army to India and declared that now I am going to conquer Hindustan. When he came to the borders of Rajasthan, 2 dynasties, the Gujarat Prajapati and the Maharashtra and Andhra Chalukyas, they combined and defeated the Caliph, and so badly they were defeated, for 700 years there was not another caliphate. Today the new caliphate, IS also is saying, we will invade India and conquer it and complete the incomplete chapter of Islamic history. Why incomplete? Because when the Islam went to Persia and conquered Persia and drove out the Zoroastrians, who became Parsis in India, in 15 years they converted Persia into 100% Muslim. Mesopotamia and Babylon, which is now known as Iraq, in 17 years they converted into 100% Islam. Egypt, they converted 100% Islam in 21 years. Of course, the Christians went to Europe and took 50 years to convert Europe into Christian. But here, 800 years of Islam, 200 years of Christian rule through the British, and you are still 80% Hindu. What does it mean? If the correct history is taught, then you will know that every part of India kept fighting. No part of India ever surrendered. We know about Shivaji, but the valor of a loser also has been worshipped in our country. Rana Pratap did not win, but we remember his sacrifice, his courage. Rani Jhansi did not win, but she's a heroine because she fought. Subhash Chandra Bose later on did not win the war for us, but we remember his courage. Karnataka Rani Chennamma, Tamil Nadu Kattabomman. And sometimes we had dynasties which survived and defeated the Mughals. The Vijayanagaram, founded in Karnataka, in Bijapur, lasted 300 years and spread right to the borders of Orissa. Had more territory under its control than the Mughals. But our history book, there will be one chapter for each Mughal emperor. But for Vijayanagaram Empire, one paragraph. From Akbar to Aurangzeb is only 150 years. But the Vijayanagaram Empire lasted 300 years. But one paragraph for that. This is the history we want to rewrite and give you the true history of India. The Assam dynasty of Assam defeated the Mughals. The Mughals are the only part of India which the Mughals could never even conquer for a few days, was Assam, because of the Assam dynasty. So today we are 80% because our ancestors fought. And now we must continue. No minority has any fear when the Hindus are in majority. The Parsis had no problem. The Jews came. We built them synagogues in Cochin and Bombay. And when Israel was founded, these Jews migrated back, most of them. And the first resolution passed in the Parliament of Israel is, "Thank you, India, you are the only country. Only country in the world where the Jews were not persecuted was India." When the Arabs came as traders to Kerala, we invited them and they wanted to settle down. We gave them our daughters in marriage and they became to be known later on by the English as Mopala. It is actually Mapilai. Mapilai means son-in-law. We had no problem. The Syrian Christians came, we had no problem. But it was the marauding Islamic armies which came, which took advantage of what was an internal fight between the father and his son-in-law, between Jaichand and Prithviraj Chauhan, that the whole history of India changed. It would have changed quickly again if Hemu, Vikramaditya, had not had an accidental arrow which killed him. Otherwise, he had almost practically the whole of North India had uprooted the Mughals at a very early stage when Akbar was a little boy. But that quirk of history changed and the Mughals lasted more than 150 years. Then came the British. They then didn't capture us physically like the Islamic forces did. They captured us mentally. They changed our mindset. Macaulay said very clearly, "I am looking for an Indian, brown in complexion, but English in habits and obedient to the crown." And he said the educational syllabus should be prescribed that way. So they cooked up all these history and brainwashed us. Aryans and Dravidians. What is this Aryan? There is no such word. Arya is there. That only means a cultured person. Dravidian. What is this Dravidian? It is not a separate community. It is a sandhi of two words in Sanskrit meaning South India. And Adi Shankara was the first one to use it when he challenged Mandana Mishra in Rajgraha to a debate, to tell him that he was Dravida Shishu. But the British brainwashed a whole lot of people, particularly in Tamil Nadu, and created a Dravidian movement, of which Mr. Karunanidhi today is the chief spokesman. They first said that they are an independent nation. When the British were about to leave on 15th August 1947, the then leader of the Dravidian movement, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, went to the governor and said, please go from all over India, but not from Tamil Nadu. We are your loyal servants. But the British knew the time was up. So they went away. But they continued to finance and support the Dravidian movement, which then used propaganda and took advantage of the divisions in the Congress to become a ruling party. And then they started propagating their separateness. Karunanidhi started celebrating Ravan Leela because he said Ravan was a Dravidian king and Rama was a northerner Aryan king. This is the ancient fight between the Aryans and Dravidians. I did some research to find out that Ravan was born near Delhi in a place called Noida. The village is still there. It's called Basrak village. His wife was born in Meerut, Mandodari. Ravan went to Mansarovar and there he did tapas. When I went to Kailash, on the way I saw a huge lake. I thought that was Mansarovar. But then the guide told me, the Chinese guide told me, this is not Mansarovar, it is called Ravan Haranga. So I said, what do you mean Ravan Haranga? He says, Haranga means Sarovar in Tibetan. I said, who's Ravan? She said, Ravan was somebody who came from India. So I said, okay, then before I reach Mansarovar, let me have a bath in Ravan Haranga. He said, no, don't do that because then you'll all get itches all over your body. They said, all right, let me take a little sip. He said, no, I'll poison your stomach. So finally I took a bottle and took some water, filled it with Ravan Haranga water and gave it to Karunanidhi and said, please drink it and show. When I was fighting Ram Setu also, why did the Setu Samudram project was started by Sonia Gandhi and Karunanidhi in 2005? To break Rama Setu. As you know that after the coast of Ramanathapuram in the mainland of India, there is an island called Rameshwaram Island. Then that Rameshwaram Island, which is about 25 kilometers, there is a point called Dhanushkodi. That is where Rama did his tapas, seeking the Samudra Raja to part ways for him to go to Lanka. Of course, the Samudra Raja didn't listen. So that's why Rama took out his Agni Ban. And then scared, the Samudra Raja told him how to build a bridge. And Ram Setu was built there. And that's about 49 kilometers all the way to Sri Lanka. This part from Dhanushkodi to Sri Lanka, they wanted to cut through that. And Karunanidhi said to everybody, particularly to the Muslims, they broke Babri Masjid, we will break Ram Setu for you. He could not. Ram Setu broke him instead. When I was arguing in the Supreme Court once about Ram Setu, the name of Rama irritated Karunanidhi. He held a press conference and he said, who is Swami to call this Ram Setu? It was called by the British as Adam's Bridge. How can Ram Setu name be given? Was Rama an engineer? Which engineering college did he go to be able to build a bridge? Next day he fell ill. And quite ill also. So he had to be taken to hospital. And hospital name was Ramachandra Medical Hospital. So I wrote to him a letter saying, get well soon, but did you check that Rama has an MBBS or not? This is the way the mind was poisoned. The mind is the most important thing for any citizen. Not numbers, Yes, number is good, but without mind, number is nothing. Not strength. Without mind, strength is nothing. If there are 1,000 goats standing at one place and one tiger comes, who has got the numbers? The goats have got the numbers. But that one tiger is enough to scare those goats to run away in different directions. If they had the right mind, they would have surrounded the tiger and kicked him till he died. Because the goats have a very vicious kick which they can use. But their mind is of fright, so it runs away. The same thing is, many people used to ask me why Manmohan Singh, as Prime Minister, was not able to check Sonia Gandhi. He said she has no power, she has no post, and this man is Prime Minister. Why he cannot check her? I said it's all the mind. They asked me how. I said in a circus, in a cage, there will be 5 strong lions, very well fed. One thin, wiry ringmaster will walk into the cage, lock the cage, and then he will give order. Climb up. All the lions will climb on the bench. Then he will say, open your mouth. They'll all open their mouths. And he'll put his head turn by turn. Question is, why those lions don't kill him? Cut his head off. Because when they are small, they are brought up this way. Obey. And therefore their mind is prepared for obeying. Get a command, obey. In Sanskrit, the word for lion is Singh. So Manmohan Singh is also a circus Singh. He obeyed Sonia because that is the way he is brought up. Today when I say Hindutva, I am talking of the mind. What is Hindutva? Translated means Hindu-ness. The quality of being a Hindu. What is the quality of Hindu? Our relationships. I regard my father and mother as almost equal to God. I look after them. In their old age, if they want to stay with me, I'll welcome them. In the Western world, do they have that? They don't have it. Once the children become adults, they go away. They don't care for their parents. Relationship between husband, wife, brothers and sisters. All this is codified in our Shastras. And we follow it. We help people. If I am invited for dinner, I sometimes will take an extra friend without telling my host. He won't mind. He will bring out another plate and put it. Try do that in the West. They'll rebuke you. They say, we only invited you. How did you bring this gentleman? It's a different relationship. Our human relationships are defined by Hindutva. In fact, when I was a student getting my PhD at Harvard, an American student asked me, how is it that you Indians agreed to accept Mahatma Gandhi as your leader? So I said, why? Because of non-violence? You believe in violence or what? No, he said. Mahatma Gandhi is not properly dressed. How can you accept him as a leader? I said, in your country, leaders have to be well dressed. He said, yes, in the best suit, best tie, shining shoes. See Obama, how well dressed he is. I mean, I'm telling you today, in those days it was Kennedy. So, I said, what happens if Mahatma Gandhi wants to be leader in America, what will you do? He said, we will arrest him for indecent exposure. How can a man just having one loin cloth be our leader? But they think about it. That is special about India. Look at our sadhu sannyasis, so simply dressed. They are the greatest. We respect them no end. But they are not dressed like the Pope, whose satin gown, diamond necklace, ruby necklace, sapphire necklace, even his topi has jewels in it. Go to Makkah and see the Maulana there, how well dressed they are. But not us. In our system that we had designed of social structure, the Hindutva structure of society, of Varna, where is the wealth there? Right at the bottom. Wealth does not decide the social structure in Hindutva. Highest in the country is the learned person who has no property, who has no house, has a small hut. He has no weapons. He was called the Rishi or the Brahmin. It was not necessary he should be born in a Brahmin family to become a Brahmin. He must follow the discipline of being a Brahmin. Learning, simplicity. If it was birth-based, then how do you explain Vishwamitra, who became the Rishi of Rishis? He was born in a Kshatriya family. How do you explain Veda Vyasa, who wrote the Mahabharata? Was a great Maharishi. His mother was a fisherwoman. Kalidasa, who cut wood, branches of trees in the forest, became the greatest poet we produced. Same thing with Valmiki. The Dalits claim him. He became Maharishi and wrote the Ramayana. It had nothing to do with birth. It had to do with discipline. Today, that is all broken down. But there is no difference between any of us. If you take the DNA test, which is now the conclusive test for deciding whether we are one people or not, you find from North India to South India, East India to West India, the DNA of all Indians the same. Go to the Cambridge University Journal of Genetics, you will see it. Mysore University's research departments, microbiological department of genetics. All over the world today, wherever study is being done for DNA, they say Indians are all of one DNA. Hindu, Muslim, they are also. That means what? It means the Muslims' ancestors were Hindus. Are the Muslims ready to accept? Privately they accept. But they are afraid of the mullah. One day Farooq Abdullah told me, my ancestors were Saraswat Brahmins. I said, why don't you publicly say that? He says, are you mad? The mullah will kill me. That is the truth today. You want national integration through Hindutva? Let the Muslims accept that their ancestors are Hindus, that they belong to this country, that we are one culturally, even if we are different religiously, we'll become one. But the problem is, over the years, the Muslim mind has been prepared to think of themselves as the international community. An example is this. One of our most friendly countries in the world is a country called Israel. They have always helped us. They have no conflict with us. They have love for us because we looked after the Jews. They give us information on terrorism, they give us military equipment, they give us know-how, they give us electronics. And in some parts of Maharashtra, they are even helping us in agriculture. We have no conflict with them, but the government of India, the secular governments of India have been voting against Israel. It was only after I became minister, Mr. Chandrasekhar became prime minister, that for the first time we decided to have ambassador with Israel. Till that time, we won't even recognize them. Why? Because the Muslims won't like it. And do those Muslims support us on Kashmir? No. Hamas, do they support us? Which Arab country supports India? They support Pakistan because of that international outlook. So you want national integration today? Identify yourself with this country. The Muslims do belong to this country. We cannot say they are foreigners. Some mad fellows may think that they are the children of Ghazni and Gori. But the DNA doesn't support it. Even here in your Maharashtra, there was a movement some time ago of Raj Thackeray saying that UP walas, they have come here and stolen all our jobs, and the UP taxi driver now, all taxis are in the hands of UP walas. So I asked a friend of mine, can you get me a sample of Raj Thackeray's hair? Because DNA can be tested by hair also. So he said, I go to the same hairdressing salon as Raj Thackeray, I'll give it to you. So one day he got me a bottle of his hair. Then I went to a UP taxi driver in Bombay and gave him 100 rupees. I said, can I cut a little of your hair? He thought I was mad, but for 100 rupees he said, le lo. I had it tested. They are both the same DNA. I declared it about 3 years ago. I declared it on the public platform that Raj Thackeray's DNA is the same as the UP taxiwala. It means that he also came from UP. Why these divisions have been created? All artificial. You want national integration. Trace your roots to the... I don't want you to be Hindu religion. Hindu religion means Hindu Upasana Paddhati. Hindu Dharma means code. It's a different thing. Hindutva means having those values. So if you do that, that is the way to do it. People say, no, many religions and cultures have contributed to us. Now, Ganga flows, lots of rivers flow into it, you see, and merge into it. But the name of Ganga does not change. It remains Ganga right to the end. So we are Hindus. If you don't like the word Hindu, then use Hindustani. Hindustan is a land of Hindus, plus those others who accept that their ancestors are Hindus. That is the meaning of Hindustan. Then what about Bharat? Bharat is a republic. It's a name of a king. India is a republic, a democratic republic. It has a constitution. There is a rule of law. And there is a concept of citizenship. So Bharatiya means citizenship. Hindutva, Hindu means identity. There's a difference. The Americans say American identity is a white, Anglo-Saxon, Christian, English-speaking population. That's what they say. The Professor Samuel Huntington's famous book is there, Who We Are. So somebody asked him, he was at Harvard University, and somebody asked him, how can you say this when there are Buddhists here, there are Hindus here, there are Muslims here? How can you say that the identity is this? He says that is the identity on which this country is founded. Muslims, Christians and all others are citizens of America. They are US citizens. And the same view is now being expressed by Cameron, Prime Minister Cameron of Britain, who said that Britain is a Christian nation. No secular person is objecting to it, because he's a white man, so how can you object to it? But when the BBC asked him, how can you say it's a Christian country? We have got many Hindus here, we have got many Jews here, we have got Muslims here. He said, that is true, they are citizens. They are welcome citizens. But the identity of England is that it's a Christian nation. So if today you want to identify, it's very easy for India. Because there is no difference between any of us, we have the same DNA. And we are one people. If that comes into the mind of every Indian citizen, that for certain purposes I may have differences. I may be a Brahmin because I am pursuing knowledge, but I am following the discipline of a Brahmin. I am a Kshatriya because I pick up the gun to defend the country. I am a Vaishya because I produce wealth for the country. I am a Shudra because I am tilling the land to produce food for the people. Even the extraordinary situation that arose of people who are now called scheduled caste, their children are not scheduled caste necessarily. Valmiki is the example. So therefore we are one people. If this is brought into our thinking, it will happen without difficulty. How do we create this unity? First, as I told you, you be clear about your identity. You are a Hindustani because you are a Hindu or because you accept that your ancestors are Hindus. 2, you must have a correct view of Indian history. For that, the government is preparing new textbooks. Some of us outside the government are also working on it. In the United States, Rajiv Malhotra is doing excellent work to create this. Soon we will have a textbook which gives you the correct perception of what we are. We are a proud Hindu country. We must now integrate ourselves. For the time being, English can remain because it's an international language. German is a luxury. But English is not because of England, but because of America. America had a choice in their formulation of the Constitution between German and English. They took a vote, and by one vote, English was preferred. And because America is now a world economic power and a world educational power, therefore English is important as an international language. We have to learn it. But there is one language which is which has common vocabulary in all Indian languages. Larger proportion, smaller proportion. And that's called Sanskrit. And the BJP has decided we'll bring Sanskrit. Even Tamil has 41% words common to Sanskrit. Even on this I had a quarrel with Karunanidhi once. He said, no. I said, take out the dictionary, I'll count for you. I counted 10 pages and counted the Sanskrit words in it. Anubhavam, Kirti, all this is there in Tamil. And Bhayam, like Bhai you have, Bhayam. So I counted, I showed him it's about 40%. So he said, no, you see, Tamil, these are originally Tamil words, but Sanskrit stole it from Tamil. I said, but you are admit it's common. Your own name, Karunanidhi, is Sanskrit, I said. So, consequently, Malayalam, maybe 75-80% is Sanskrit words in common. Bengali, even more, maybe 90%. Gujarati, even the scripts are very similar. You take Tamil ka and put a matra on it, becomes ki. That is Devanagari also. That is Gujarati also. That is Marathi also. Nepali also. And of course Sanskrit. Devanagari is a separate script. It's got nothing to do with Hindi. In Tamil Nadu, suddenly they'll say, no, Hindi. I've said that every signpost, every milestone in the roads, in the highways, in the railway stations must have the name of that station or that place in Devanagari, not in Hindi. Devanagari. In the middle, they won't allow it. They used to put black paint on it. But now it has come back. And just like you saw 71% in Kashmir voting for BJP, you will see 80% in Tamil Nadu voting for BJP. Because we are all coming together. And the new generation that is coming, they feel that why should I be restricted to Tamil Nadu? I want to go and earn some good job, get a good job in North India where I don't know Hindi, I'm in great difficulty. So people want to learn Hindi. They made a big hoo-ha about BJP as soon as came power, started introducing Hindi lessons in All India Radio in one channel. Big hullabaloo was created, this is imposition of Hindi. How can one channel be an imposition? Don't listen to that channel, go to some other channel. Ultimately, it didn't stick. Now it's being taught. But Hindi must develop vocabulary in Sanskrit. All these Urdu words, you can have Urdu. Urdu must be developed. But Urdu words in Hindi should be removed and replaced by Sanskrit words. Because Sanskrit has a speciality. If I say Vidhan, from that I can derive Vidhi, I can derive Vidayak. So I can derive many words. But in Urdu it's not like that. So for science, Sanskrit is necessary. And slowly Sanskrit, Hindi should become what in Hindi is called Sanskrit Nisht. That is, go on becoming Sanskritized. And one day it will become Sanskrit. When Adi Shankara defeated all the Buddhist scholars and the Uttaramamsa school scholars, and Hinduism came back. So that time his chelas said to him, shall we boycott Pali? He said no. But go on Sanskritizing the vocabulary of Pali. In 30 years, Pali became Sanskrit. The same way, today, we must learn Sanskrit. Sanskrit is very easy to learn. It's all this is propaganda of the British, oh, so hard and all that. Nowadays, you can get online how to learn Sanskrit. In the United States, they have developed an advanced computer science area called artificial intelligence. Essentially, it is putting all the knowledge into the computer. I am born, I learn, I myself learn many things, I get so much experience, then I retire and disappear. All that knowledge goes with me. So after I retire, I sit before a computer and say, these are the things I have learnt. And that computer then stores it, collates it, and creates a knowledge bank. Question being, somebody will say in French, somebody will say in English, somebody will say in Russian. How do we convert all this into a single language? And they did research. And if you go to Google today and write Sanskrit in artificial intelligence, you'll get everything. So NASA did studies for 18 years. And then in 1967, in the Journal of Artificial Science Intelligence, Professor Riggs wrote an article, no need to discover a new language. There is one language which is completely in synchronization with computers, and that is Sanskrit, and Sanskrit has been adopted. Today it is compulsory to learn Sanskrit before you do artificial intelligence. British schools have started teaching Sanskrit because they say reciting of Sanskrit shlokas generates vibrations in your body which improves your memory and your health. This is British schools, that also you can see in Google. But in India we say we are secular. So how can we have Sanskrit? But doesn't matter, that age is gone. Now Sanskrit is coming And Sanskrit will be ultimately the link language of India, I'm telling you. You want national integration? Bring Sanskrit. Sanskrit, the Mimamsa school, the Mimamsa logic for law is the best. We don't even know about it. Jamini invented it. So Sanskrit today will make you have a single language for all courts. Maybe not now, maybe 50 years, maybe 75 years. But ultimately, it should become the language of instruction. University education in Sanskrit. Of course you will know English because you have to go for international conferences. I don't know whether English will still be that important. The rate at which India is growing, this is called India's century. You know why it is called India's century? Because we are today, everything is knowledge. No more physical labor. It is no more financial capital. It is innovation. What is an internet? It is not capital and labor. It is an innovation. You have discovered something. Today the Western world says developing intelligence means what? It means not only cognitive intelligence, mathematics, physics, etc. That's cognitive. But emotional intelligence. How to be a cultured person, how to talk in a way that you persuade the other person. Moral intelligence. How to carry out your activities without being immoral. Social intelligence, how to pursue your career without doing social wrong. You can have a factory and put smoke into the air, make a big profit, but the society will die of tuberculosis. That is antisocial. Similarly, they have now developed an area of intelligence in America which we knew long years ago and now forgotten, called spiritual intelligence. And what is spiritual intelligence? That the Brahmand, or what is called as cosmos in English. Cosmos has all the knowledge that you can ever know, or you have known in the past or will know in the future. It's all there. But how do you access it? For that you develop by meditation you develop your mind. You develop what is called, the Americans now call as the neural Wi-Fi. You connect to that and you will get all the knowledge that you want. So spiritual intelligence, our rishis knew long time ago. But now the Americans are going to teach us. Americans are going to teach us yoga. Americans are going to teach us Sanskrit. Americans are going to teach you how to be happy also, because now they are learning from us. I went to Sri Ravi Shankar's ashram and I found large number of foreigners, all very, very rich. I said, why you come? He said, we want to be happy. He said, but you have so much money, you should be happy. I said, no, money doesn't give us happiness. But we have found in India, these gurus know how to develop happiness mode. And that is there in the Gita. What does Gita say? That you have only freedom of action. But the fruit of that action is not your freedom, is not your right. That I will decide, Krishna says. So you may get it in different forms. Sometimes without doing any work you may get something. Sometime after doing a lot of work you will get nothing. That is there in the Gita. You may get a good job and a bad wife, or a good wife and a bad job. That is the balance that we, in our Hindu theology, advocate. So, these are things on which you come. We have, therefore, national integration. The only way to do it, the only cement that exists is Hindutva. The day we adopt Hindutva, national integration will be easy to achieve. That leaves me with world peace. Well, you don't want world peace like you have the peace of the grave. You want an active world peace. Today, the world is threatened with Islamic fundamentalism in a very, very serious way. Within our own country also. But you have to understand the Islamic mind. You see, the Hindu mind is like Arjuna's mind, always in confusion. Shall I do? Shall I not do? But if you read our itihasa, you will never have any problem. When Rama hid behind a tree and made Sugriv wear a mala and then killed Bali, while dying, Bali said to Rama, "You are supposed to be a Kshatriya. Like a coward, you hid behind a tree and killed me. Where is your morality? Should have come before me, fought like a man." So Rama said, "Who are you to teach me morality? You stole Sugriv's wife. You took away his kingdom. Morality is only between two moral individuals, not between an immoral and a moral person." This same thing is there in Mahabharata also. When Karna was bending over to lift his chariot, that time Krishna said, "Kill him." Said the same thing, "I'm a Kshatriya, how can I do that?" He said, "Yes, but when your wife was being stripped, where was your Kshatriyapan?" You see? I mean, I'm loosely translating what was said. So we have to therefore understand that when we want world peace, not peace at any cost, we want peace which is active peace, which means that people who both sides desire it, not by one surrendering to the other side. Problem with Islam is that Islam teaches your mind to be clear. Hinduism, as is presently being taught or learned, teaches you to be confused. Is it this? Is it that? Is it therefore that? But Islam, there is no doubt in their mind. Muhammad says the world is in three parts. Darul Islam, where Muslims rule and are in majority. He says, don't give any room to minorities. We have 20 lakh Hindus in Saudi Arabia as workers. Can they celebrate Diwali? They cannot. Can they build a temple? No. Can they have Satyanarayan Puja inside their house? No. Can they carry Ramchandraji's photo in their pocket while going to work? No. All carry punishment. Because they are very clear. They say no. On Sharia, please go to some other country. In Australia, you will get only uniform civil code. Next day, all the Muslim organizations passed a resolution and sent it to the Prime Minister that this mullah is a mad fellow. We like uniform civil code. We want it. Why? Because Muhammad says where the majority is united and can finish you. There he says al-taqiyya, which means surrender, temporary contract. Let the Hindus unite here. Uniform civil code will come in no time. Where the Muslims are in majority, within India you see their behavior. I don't blame the Muslims. I say their mind is clear. I blame the Hindus because you are all Arjuna minds. In Kashmir, what have they done? 500,000 Hindus have been driven out. Does any Muslim leader say, condemn this? No. But he's allowed. Nobody is taking notice of it. Supposing we drive them out, what a hullaballah there will be. Why take Kashmir? Take Mallapuram, the district. You can't sell, no Hindu can sell his property to another Hindu in Mallapuram. He has to sell it to a Muslim. And their Jamaat will provide the buyer also. He'll give a good price also. So when they are in majority, there is no question of any accommodation with any minority. And when they are in a minority and you are a confused bunch, then they will go on demanding. Otherwise, they will adjust. When the UPA, the secular government of India, was in power, how many people voted in Kashmir? 30%. That is in the parliament elections. Now the Hindu government is there in Delhi. How many people are voting? 71%. And that is what is causing jealousy in Pakistan. So I am saying you want world peace, please understand the nature of your opponent. This peace, bhajans will not bring you peace. It is your Virat nature, as it's called. When you are a Virat Hindu, you will get peace in this country. And that is there for all to see. Look at Assam. Such a lot of infiltration. Now, you can't stop them because they will bribe the BSF people and come in. And they have changed the composition in Assam. Now, I went to Assam and the press asked me, what should we do? I said, send them all back. They said, no, it can't be done. I said, why not? If it can't be done, then ask for Bangladesh to give compensation. This is under what law? I said, under this law, that the British in June 1947 passed a bill, Indian Independence Act of 1947. What do they say? Those Muslims who cannot live with Hindus, or will not live with Hindus, or don't want to live with Hindus, for them we have to create a new nation, carving territory out of India. The partition of India is there in the Indian Independence Act of 1947, House of Commons. And it says, for them we are creating a separate country. Now, after having got a separate country, the Muslims come back to live with Hindus. Then what is our responsibility? Tell Bangladesh, take them back or give us compensation in terms of territory. 1/3 of Bangladesh has come to India, so 1/3 of Bangladesh should be taken over by India. And how do you get that 1/3? Well, from Khulna to Sylhet, you pass a line, and all the territory above that, you capture. The army is very happy, because right now, to go to Assam from Bengal, they have to go through all the way to Jalpaiguri. There's a small chicken neck there. China is above, Bangladesh is below. They say it's a nightmare for us when this will be cut off. So if you take that top part, that is your right. Because you gave land to the Muslims on the understanding that you don't want to live with Hindus. The day you decide to live with Hindus, you have to undo that much part of it. That will give you world peace. Not by surrender. Understand the people who are against you and modify your behavior according to that. They are very clear. If you compromise, they will ask for more. If you say this far and no more, they will adjust. And today the biggest threat to us is Islamic fundamentalism, and the moderates are all collapsing. Pakistan government, no use blaming them for all that is happening, because they are not in control. They are just a puppet government. It is the Taliban, it is the ISI, it is the military which is doing it. And they are in control. These people just go to office and come back, that's all. They can't control. In fact, for Nawaz Sharif to come to attend Prime Minister Modi's swearing in, he had to take permission of the army to come. So in these circumstances, unless you become what is called as a Virat Hindu, and we welcome Muslims, Christians, And any other religion, of course, Sikhs and Buddhists and Jains, well, they were all born in this country, so there's no question. So these two religions in particular, which came from abroad, if they accept that they are the same people as us, at least our ancestors are common, then we can have a unity, and we have to make sure this international character of Islam, as far as India is concerned, is destroyed, and see to it a national mind is fostered in the Islamic community. Then you will have peace. The only way you can get peace is if your mind is clear. Your mind is clear when you are clear about your identity, when you have your own language, you have a correct version of your history, and you have the Virat psychology that if someone attacks you, you will attack them 10 times back. That is all. Thank you very much.